Hello, everyone. I hope everyone is doing fine. Thank you for everything. Okay, I got that. I had to fix that up. Just make sure it's gonna be straight. Okay. So anyway, now we're gonna do. I'm doing this YouTube. I already expressed what I wanted to be on. I'm just gonna switch this light because it's got so much light. But I think everything is going all right. Okay, anyway, it's nice to see you again. This one is going to be a YouTube that I already had planned, and I put out a little short video about what it's going to be about. So it's about how how Jehovah's Witnesses learn racist tactics. Okay, I'm not gonna say that I don't really like that term, and I'm not gonna really say that it's powerful, and I use it in a title, but I'm not going. I'm gonna just you'll see the way that I'm gonna handle the way I'm gonna handle the title of the topic of what this is about. It's going to be done all right because I want you to get the information about the way that they're taught. And okay, the way I mean, Jehovah's Witnesses um, learn um, racist tactics. So that's going to be the title. The title's already made. I already put down the title anyway. It just says it's on my phone. I can't read it word for word. Then the topics that I'm going to talk on, as far as that title is concerned, is Christianity, ex-Jehovah Witnesses, and exclusion. Like either they exclude themselves or excluding others or something like that. Exclusion. And I'll get when I get to it. You'll understand the meaning much better. So this one is the first one. Is Christianity. The first thing I want to say about Christianity is that, and oh, there's one thing I definitely want to make a point on, and that is this is about the things that this is about the truth about the things that happened to me. I believe in God. I have a relationship with God, like a lot of those who view have a relationship with God. Um, Although whoever listens to it, I'm because it's about the truth about me. It doesn't express like if I say Catholic because I'm a Catholic. I don't want. I mean, I'm not trying to get people to be Catholic because I went through all the religions and I mean, and I respect them. I respect all the religions. Okay. However, I grew up as a Jehovah Witness, and I can tell my part in the truth about the things that happened to me, and it will be the truth and my belief in God. Okay. My relationship with God. I definitely have a relationship with God. And that's one thing I want to thank everybody for is because they let me express my opinion and they let me tell my truth. And that's one thing I like about the ex-Jehovah Witnesses because we definitely don't judge each other and we listen to each other wholeheartedly. And that's another thing that I do definitely appreciate. So getting into the first one is going to be on Christianity. And the first thing I want to say is this. When I left the Jehovah Witnesses, I never ever realized that that their Bible, or I can't even say their Bible, that the book that we used as a Bible said scriptures. I know a lot of people don't understand. A lot of people think it's just trivial, but to me, it's not trivial because I put together things. I have Dance Without Music. I have You Want to Be a you want to be becoming a master viewer of art. I'm starting on doing poems right now, and I'm a creator of a lot of things, and it starts from the foundation or the beginning. So I understand that just that one thing is very important. They don't have, to me, they don't have a Bible. It doesn't say Bible, and we're here on Earth and our number one thing is to get together, get along together, and have peace among each other. So that means we have a responsibility to be able to work together and organize ourselves together. And as time goes on, you can see how it's been a hard road, but we all continually we have wars and things like that all over the place and stuff like that. But our core objective, I don't like to say objective and subjective, but the core of what we want is to get along together and work together. And that's why we have, everything is like global now. Even this YouTube, I'm sure it can go to different places in different countries, even though I'm in the United States. So that's an importance that we get along together. That means that we have to teach each other. We have to learn from our mistakes. So that's one thing I want to say as far as Christianity. We're starting with the Bible, okay? Um, I guess I have to say, even though I didn't want to say, but I have to say it is because I don't want to talk about races because, I mean, I only use that word to say that they learn tactics, and that's one thing I would have to say though right now is they learn a different language. Now speaking back on the Bible again, the Bible, it says Holy Scriptures. Okay, I'm not going to even call it a Bible. That one thing is very important. I put together things. I have to make languages. If you look at Dance About Music, we have all these terms and everything that has to be, everything has to go together. So sometimes we need new terms, but a thing such big such as that is, if they make a Bible, okay, you have to have a Bible. You can't say scriptures and then say it's your Bible. It seems like a little point, but it's a big point because getting into the next, I think I should put it under Christianity, because Christianity means Christians, okay? All the Christian organizations together makes Christianity. But then you have someone that comes along and says that they want to be a part of Christianity, but yet we're all on earth together, to work together, to live together, to understand together. You cannot have something, if you want to get along with everyone, you have to see where you can fit in, and that's a very important thing. But with their one thing with their Bible, it's not a Bible. It says scriptures. But their scriptures, they're telling the world that theirs is different from everyone else's. When in actuality, it's impossible because we all live on earth together. And it has to come to a fact that either it's a Bible or it's not a Bible. So that's one big point I want to stress, is that I'm not going to say anything about their scriptures because it's not a Bible. And I'm talking about from when I grew up as a Jehovah's Witness, and if it was a Bible, then I would have to say something about it. But as far as the Bible is concerned, I have nothing to say because they say scriptures. And believe me, it's for a reason. That's one big point that I wanted to make. Now, as far as Christianity, I'm going to say something happened to me when I was like maybe around 30. I met this, and a lot of people understand because um, they have, okay, I'm going to clear this up because I just said something that didn't make any sense. But what I'm trying to say, what I wanted to say was, God puts people in our way, and sometimes His answer, if you really have a relationship with God, is in anything, any way He wants to explain something to you, He explains something to you. Mine was when I was around 30 years old. I had a friend. I was working in a movie theater, and I had this friend. He was from Vietnam, and it was funny because I was working on the, I was, doing something on the computer, um, or, having the customers come in and selling them tickets. And this is late at night. I think maybe we were balancing out. And his friend said, "Do you have a They have a Ouija board, and they were going to play with it, but he didn't want to." And they went off and they played with, the Ouija board. And I did. Of course, I wasn't going to, even though I was leaving the Jehovah's Witnesses. I mean, I just didn't want to. Even now, I don't have anything to do with that. I don't like to do that. But it was funny because he didn't want to do it either. His name was Roger. And the reason why this is very important, because that one day, it was almost like I said, I think he put him in my way. Because that, um, after we left work, he came, we started talking, you know. And I said it was funny that you didn't want to, play with the Ouija board because all of his friends did. And he was younger than I was, but I was like 30 years old. Maybe he was like 4 or 5 years old, years younger than I was. And it was, that day was a very important day. That night was a very important night because it was maybe like what a theater closes at around 10 or 11 o'clock. And we started talking and we got very, very close. I mean, it has nothing to do with sexual or anything like that. It was just some kind of closeness that we had. And we started talking about really beautiful things just, about just beautiful, deep things about life. And that had been the first time I ever met him. And then he drove me to, either maybe I drove, but we both had cars. But at one point, I think I was driving, and we drove to this, I can't, I don't, it was like, um, the Hiroshima, I'm sorry if I pronounce it wrong, but it's in Washington, D.C., and it's when the soldiers are putting the flag up during World War II. Now my history, and it was about the bomb. When they did the bombing of Japan or whatever. But anyway, he took me there, and we got out the car, and that's not really an important part of the story, but we did go there, and just so close. I mean, like when we got out, we were talking, and I think we hugged each other, but it was something so. It was so foreign. It was just like we were in a different space because we were talking about life and everything. So then we went there, and then we started talking about intelligence. This intelligence, I gotta make this story short too. We started talking about intelligence, like what kind of intelligence you need to this, what kind of intelligence you need to this, what kind of intelligence you need for this. And anyway, we at one point in time, this is important. We ended up in this restaurant. This is when you could smoke in restaurants, and we both smoked. And we had our drinks too. And he was talking about a journey. Little did I know he was talking about my journey. And he was saying, "Would you continue your journey if this happened?" And I go, "Yes." "Would you continue your journey if this happened?" And he told me all these different obstacles. If you're in a cave, and the cave, and you go one way, and you see a light, and you go toward the light, and you go all the way toward the light, and you find out if the light is the wrong way, would you come back around? I go, "Yes, I will come back around." And so anyway, I believe that it was after we finished. It was a long night. It was about the things that I learned. Okay, and that's one thing that I wanted to express, telling you that the things that I am telling you about and things that are in this YouTube are the things that I learned on the journey that we were talking about when I was talking to him. So the reason why I had to tell you that story is because a lot of things that happened to me are about the journey that I was talking about with him. So now we're going to get back to Christianity. Christianity. There's one thing that I want to stress. Okay, the Jehovah's Witnesses. The first thing they say, a lot of things they say about Christianity, okay? During that journey that I had to go through all the different churches, okay, because I was not doing well a lot of times. And every one of the churches that the Jehovah's Witnesses had talked to me about was were the ones that helped me. I mean, when I needed something, they would help me. I mean, I'm talking about like how can I mention the Anglican Church, the Episcopal Church. I think it's the same thing. What's another one? A Methodist church. I can name all the churches, but I've been to them, okay? And they all help me. So that's why I had to tell you this story, because these are all the things because this is after I left the Jehovah Witnesses, and these are the things that the truth about the things that debunk all the things that the Jehovah Witnesses teachings has taught me, and I could see from my experience that they were wrong. So, not just that, but I have to stick it with the title also. And the title, it tells me about how a racist society, and I have to put it in, I don't like to say that word, but how they come up with lies about another, like for instance, how the Jehovah's Witnesses are taught to um, taught lies about Christianity, okay? When Christianity is about all Christian churches, all Christian, everything Christian. Now, it's kind of complicated, but this is one thing that the first thing that I had I had went over before the tape, and I have to talk about the Catholic Church. That one is, they said so many things. They said about the idols. They said that the Catholics and the other religions, but mostly the Catholics, um, they bow down to idols and they worship idols. Well, one time I was in a Catholic church, and this is exactly what happened. First of all, when I wanted to get baptized, okay, um, first I want to also say that I'm not going to put racism. I mean, it's hard for me. I don't like to say that term, but I have to tie it in sometimes. So it's mostly, you will get it as I go along, the way that I'm doing it. So now, there are lies about Christianity. That's the first thing I would have to say. Um, when I went to get baptized, um, I this is the first time. The first time I didn't get baptized, I was in Denver, and I asked. I went after the it's not a meeting like they say, but after the I haven't been to the church in a long time, so after the mass. Okay, after the mass, I went up I went up to a priest, and I told him I wanted to get baptized. Okay, and he told me what to do. Okay, now I was always talking. I was always praying all the time. All the time, I was always praying, and I know that I'm not saying for everybody should be baptized in the Catholic Church, because I think it's up to, I let it be up to God, okay? Up to your relationship with God. For me, he wanted me to, maybe because of my personality or whatever, he wanted me to be Catholic, okay? I mean, I know that, okay? For some reason. So I listened to him, and I said I wanted to get baptized. But when we did the paperwork, okay, um, they said, why do you want to be baptized? And I put down, I didn't think it made a difference, but I put down that that I put down because it was basically because of me. Okay, when I was getting baptized that first time, it didn't work out. Okay, And not just that, but before, because it was not really something I wanted to do. Not that I didn't want to do it, but I had a conversation with God and prayed to Him about a lot of things about the Catholic, about, me getting baptized. It was very personal between me and God. I'm sorry this is going to be really long. I hope people can handle this. But it's very important. And so we had this long conversation about 100 points that I went over. I swear, it was 100, maybe 100 points. And this is the first time I tried to get baptized. And then they have this. I don't know the name of the class, but it's for adults who want to get baptized. And during that first class, around the first class, and it was really something. I mean, it was really something that, I mean, I wanted to do it, but I know that I was being pushed to do it by my prayers with God. I know that. And I asked all these questions, and during that first meeting, the priest answered every question. It was about 100 questions, I swear. I mean, he answered, and I hope people have gotten this far in this video. I hope you really um, go through it. It's very important. And it went through. He went through everything that I had spoken with, that I had prayed about with God. Okay? And that's to show you that it showed me, I'm not saying to show you, it showed me that yes, God has nothing to do with the Jehovah's Witness organization. And one point I want to add is that with that point, I want to say that because I'm older and I see things clear, okay, I can see that when I said Jehovah, it was a different being. It was not the God that sent me to get baptized. It was just not. And I can see it now. I don't ponder on it, but if I keep pondering on it, I'll see who their Jehovah is, but it's not God. Okay? So the first time I even said, I didn't say that God wanted me to get baptized, okay? So it didn't work the first time, but that's one thing that happened to me to show me that that they had lied about the religion. And that's the same thing. I had to put the races in there because it's in the title. That's the same thing that races do. It's a tactic. They lie about a certain culture. Okay? They can lie about the Jews. They can lie about the blacks. But I had to put that in there because that's what the title is about. I'm sorry. Even though I don't like to say that. So that's one of the teachings that's one of the things that they do. They lie, bald-faced lie about the Christianity. And so then after that, it also showed me that God was the in the Catholic Church. Another thing that happened, a lot of people don't realize, but you have codes. I break down things, and whether you realize it or not, you have codes before you go into confession. You have codes before you go in and talk and pray to a priest. Codes. When I say codes, is that most people who the go into confession, or most people who go in to talk to a priest about getting baptized, they're talking to God before they get there. They're praying or some kind of way, okay? And there's a code. If everything is done, and you will not see it because it's God, you know what I mean? They're not going to see it. But the person who's going in, if they're wholehearted and they have a relationship with God, they're going to see it, point blank. Because one time, okay, when I was the second time that I was going to get baptized, because I said it didn't work the first time. So I'm always praying all the time, and I was waiting, and I went in to talk. This is another priest, okay, and because this is another year that because I didn't make it the first time because something happened, and I went in, and I had the cold. I'm just saying cold. I'm saying that The first code was when I talked to the priest, was all the things that I talked to God about before I went into that first meeting, and he explained everything to a T. Okay, so that was a code. That's what I'm saying a code is. Something like that. And if you know, I don't think you just have to be Catholic. I think you pretty much know what I'm talking about if you have a relationship with God. So then after that, I how can I say? Okay, so this is the second time, and I went into it just to meet the other priest because I said I wanted to get baptized. He did the code. I mean, what I'm trying to say is that God lets you know that He's in control of this meeting, okay? And a lot of people are not going to see it. And you're not going to see it unless both parties, the priest has to know, has to be hooked with God, and you have to be hooked with God, and you see it, okay? So this time when I did the paperwork, I didn't say that I was me. I said that God wanted me to get baptized, which was the honest truth. The first time I didn't think it made a difference, but it did make a difference because I did end up getting baptized. So I hope you can see in that part right there, I'm talking about Christianity, and I'm not just talking about the Catholic Church. I'm just talking about Christianity as a whole. Maybe if God wanted me to be a Christian or something, or like a Christian, just have a Christian religion, maybe it would have been something different. Or if it would have been Pentecost, it would have been something different too. So I'm just saying Christianity, and I mentioned all the churches anyway. What 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 um what the Jehovah Witnesses say Christianity is, okay? And that's another point too, is that they say that they're the best. They are the best, okay? That's something like that is a tactic right there. Because they put themselves not with everybody else, it's them, okay? They have the right scriptures, but they don't have a Bible. But yet their people think that it's the Bible. But it's not. So that's one thing, and I have to express this other thing with Christianity because it's really big. Okay, the idols. Now, they talk about the idols. Okay, now, and I also believe that God helped me with this because I was coming out of a religion that was really in war with Christendom. And that's another tactic. Now I can just say tactics, so I don't have to say all that bad stuff. Tactic is they actually put themselves at war with Christianity. So maybe that's another reason why God wanted me to see that this is that 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 he had to do a little bit more or something for me to see, because one time we had this we had a what do you call it, we had a tour, okay, because during this thing you learn everything about the Catholic Church, and then at one point we do a tour, and I went through all of them, okay, and we were all sitting in the pews in the front, nobody else was there, and then we got up and everybody did I forgot the reflex or whatever, I don't know that because I'm going so fast and I have to get this done. I know it's something flex, okay, and I'm sorry I don't know. So anyway, after we were doing it, the father was saying that we had to um, uh, what we were going to do that day, and today was the tour, and everybody got up. There was nobody else in there, and everybody did their bow to some kind of flex, okay, and you kneel down, and because there's an altar, we were over by the stage and we were going to go behind the stage, so I was the last one, and everybody left and went in the back, and I was in front of the altar, and these are my exact words. I said, okay, I know that this is I know that this is a I know that this is an idol, and I'm going to bend down and worship it because you told me to be Catholic. And that's exactly what I said. Okay? That's exactly what I said. When I saw the altar, everybody left, and I was there on the stage, in front of the altar by myself. It's on the stage, and I prayed. I didn't say it out loud. I said, "Okay, God," and rather than say, I'm just I'm just praying to Him, and I'm saying, "Oh, this is an idol, and you want me to be Catholic," and I'm saying it the second time. So I'm going to bow down and worship this idol. So I bowed down and I did it. And somebody came up behind me. There was nobody. And the thing about it is another thing a lot of people know when something happens to them, like when God does things like this, they don't really understand what happens until after it happens. Everything happens so fast. And then after it happens, you think about it. But this is my memory of what happened because it was happening really fast. After I bowed down, I got back up and somebody came, just a regular person came up right behind me, just in regular clothes and a shirt, tucked in shirt, and some kind of corduroy or jeans or something, but like maybe tan or something, but a regular clothes. And he goes, "That's not the way you do it. You do it like," no, he said that's not the way you do it. What I'm trying to say is I didn't say anything out loud. He said, "That's not the way you do it." That's the only recollection that then I said, "Oh," or something like that. And I think I did it again. But when I did it, I didn't see him after that. After I did it, because everything, I had to go to the back with everybody else. After I did it, I saw I was in another place. It was not, it was not like, and I could do it now. I can go there. I can go to the altar and I can do the circumflex or whatever they call it, and I could be there. Okay, so it had nothing to do with beautiful. It's like, I don't know. It's a holy place. It's a holy place. Maybe I don't know. I can't say it, but it's a holy place. Now I'm not going I haven't been to a mass in a long time, but I know I could go there. So anyway, so I didn't understand what happened until after it happened. So I'm like, oh wow. I mean, I didn't realize how it happened and how that thing happened until, like I said, after it happened. So that showed me that they were wrong again. They were using their seniority. I mean, when I say seniority, their seniority exists inside. That's another tactic, one of their tactics, like I said. It only it only exists inside their box, inside their organization. Okay, so that's the Christianity part. Now we're going to get to ex-Jehovah Witnesses.